Hello, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to download Apache Derby database and then configure it in NetBeans. So to start, we need to go to the Apache website to download the binary files of Derby database. So I'm copying the URL and pasting in the address bar. So on the website, we go to downloads and the current version, which was released on the 10th of November 2023, is the version 10.17.1.0, and it must be used for Java 21 and higher. So we are assuming you have already installed Java, and also you have also installed NetBeans 23. If you have not done any of them, kindly watch my videos. I've explained the process of downloading and installing the Java JDK and also the NetBeans IDE. Okay, so to download the file, we click on the version number and then you scroll down and then we download the binary zip file. But since I already have it, I'm not going to download it, but you must click on it to download the zip file. I have it already downloaded. So this is the folder with the zip file in it. Okay. So with this zip file, we need to extract the content onto a directory. So you need to create a folder where you want the content to be extracted to. I want it to be on my C drive. So I've created a folder called Derby DB. Inside, I've placed the binary zip file. So I'm going to extract it here. So I'll right click and then extract the content here. To take some few minutes, so I'll pause the video. Okay, so we can delete the zip file since we have extracted it. We have extracted the binary file here. Yeah, so you can just right click and delete. Okay, so now we will go into NetBeans to try and then configure it. So this is my NetBeans. I'll go to services and under the databases. In the past, Derby was part of JDK up to JDK 8. When JDK 9 was introduced, you need to download and then install it. So that is what we are going to do. So we will right click and then click on properties. Okay, so this is where we need to browse to where we have our JDK placed, the files placed. So I'll click on browse. Then I'll go to my C drive. I have my Derby, so I'll click on it and then click open. Okay, and then it is also asking me where do I want the database to be placed. So I will just use the same location. So I'll copy the folder and put it here. Then I click on continue. Okay. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and create a connection to the database. So to do that, we right click on database, new connection, and we are using the network connection. So we need to remove this and then add. So we need to go inside the file. Okay, so we go to this is the folder of our Derby database. So we click on the library folder and then we select Derby shared. Okay, we add it to it and then we click on next. Okay, so now we need to specify some few configurations. Okay, so under the JDBC URL, this is where we need to specify the URL. So since we are running it from the same computer, it's going to be a local host. So we type in localhost, and we also need to specify the port number. So we need to, I'm using this port number 1527. Okay, and then we can also go ahead and then create the database. So let's say we are creating a university database. So I'm going to type, so this is the database we are creating. And then we need to also issue the create command. So create equal to true. Okay. So after that, we click on next. Okay, so we are getting an error message. Okay, we made a mistake here. The forward slash should be 2 instead of 3. Okay, so let's click on next again. Okay, so this is the schema, app schema. Let's keep it. Click on next, and then it will now when we click finish, it will create the schema and also the database for us. Okay, so you can see that we have the connection here. This is the database connection. This is the schema. In it, we have tables. So we can create a table here. So to create a table, you right click and then click on create table. Okay, so let's give a table here a name. So I'm going to call it student. Okay, and then let's add some few columns. So the first column will be ID. It's going to be varchar or varchar. Okay, and then the size, normally ID will have a predefined number of characters, maybe 10 characters, 20 characters. For illustration purpose, let's say we have 10, every ID is going to be made up of 10 characters. And then IDs are normally unique because you want to use it to uniquely identify an entity in your table. So we are going to click on unique, the primary key. The primary key makes it unique. That means you cannot have two primary keys with the same ID or value. Okay, so we click on OK. Then we can create another column, maybe first name. The first name should be varchar or varchar. And then we need to specify for a name, maybe you cannot have a name. Let's assume it should not be more than 20 characters. And the good thing with varchar is that if your name is made up of only 5 characters, that is the only space occupied in memory. If it is 10. That's the only space occupied in memory. But we are setting it up to 20. It doesn't mean that it's going to create 20 memory space for each name. No, it depends on the number of characters you are using for your name. And normally, we don't want our name to be null. Every student must have a name, at least it must have a first name. So we are going to unselect and then click OK. We do the same for last name. There also is going to be virtual, also up to 20 characters. And once again, we don't want, but we cannot make name as unique or primary key, because you can have 2 or 3 or 4 people with the same name. It is possible. So, but it must also not be null. You must have a first name and a last name as a student we are describing here. And maybe finally we can add the last item which will be the date of birth. Okay, so let's abbreviate it DOB, and then we are going to use a data type. Okay, and once again, every student must have a date of birth. So we unselect the now, and then we click OK. Then we click OK, and then our student table has been created for us. And these are the list of columns we have for the student table. Now, when it comes to the student table, we can now go ahead and then populate it with data. We can do that through execute command. So I'm going to I right click on the student table and then execute command. So we can type a simple SQL statement, insert into student. Okay, and then we need to specify the columns, which are ID, comma, first name, comma, last name, comma, okay, date of birth, and then values. So we can specify the values. So let's say the ID will be, we say it should be up to 10 characters. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that'll be 10 characters. And then first name, we can call it George. Last name, we can call it Michael. And then date of birth, we need to write the date. Then we specify the date using the international date format. So it's going to be the year. So we can say 2000 November 12. Okay. Okay, so and the date must be also in quotes. So I'm going to put it in quotes. Okay, so SQL statements are separated by a semicolon. Okay, so now let's execute this and see how it works. So I'm going to highlight it and then click on run. Okay, so our statement has been executed with no error. That is good. Now we can also generate values from our table. Now that we have populated it, we can also generate value from it by using SQL statement, another SQL statement. So to do that, for instance, select star. Star means every column should be included from the table, which is the student. Okay, so we You can highlight it and then run it again. Okay, so it has displayed it for us. So the ID, this is the ID we entered. This is the first name, this is the last name, and it is the date of birth. Okay, so this tutorial shows how we can download a Derby database, configure it in NetBeans, and then use it to create a simple database. Thank you for watching. Please, if you do not have NetBeans already installed, kindly watch my other YouTube videos. If you do not have JDK already installed, I also have a YouTube video. And also kindly subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Thank you.